Next on All Access.
It's football time, and it's time to really go now.
Time now for the Belestrator.
The two receivers here, Smith and Brown, are both very, very explosive players, and even when they're covered, they're not always covered.
It could be a difficult place to grow up, but just stay focused and just know, there's more to life than the strip and trying to party and stuff when you're 17, 18. There's way more to life.
Are you ready for some football?
Man, I couldn't be more ready. Let's do it.
I know, it's been a while, but...
It's been a long time, man. We ready to get last year out of our mouth, man. Let's go.
How fortunate were all of us to be able to witness something like that. 20 years. I'm excited about the opportunity to welcome him back and celebrate him the right way.
Football is back. The Patriots are in full preparation to open the 2023 season at Gillette Stadium. Hello and welcome to Patriots All Access presented by Geico. I'm Steve Burton. We are pleased to be kicking off our 26th season of All Access and are excited for another great year. It's exciting because I'm not sure anyone knows what to expect from this New England team. They will host the defending NFC champion Philadelphia Eagles with an opportunity to test themselves against a quality opponent. Dan Roach gets us up to date with the latest on the Patriots.
Let's begin with a simple premise. Football is back.
There's always those week one kind of jitters and anxiousness. A lot of excitement. It's football time, and it's time to really go now.
Quarterback Mac Jones and the offense struggled in 2022. Enter Bill O'Brien, who has been a difference maker so far, starting with Mac.
He's really worked hard to get better, and he's gotten better. And so going into the season, when you handle the football as much as you do at that position, you're entrusted with making great decisions for the team. And Mac's in a good position to do that, and he's ready to do that.
A lot of preparation. It's not just this week. It's the whole offseason, OTAs, before OTAs. Thinking about the throwing sessions, offensive line working together. So really just trying to bring that all into one and really just get ready for a long season and hopefully a good one.
The Philadelphia Eagles are the Super Bowl runner-up, led on offense by versatile quarterback Jalen Hurts, while Bill Belichick said this week that on D, they have the best pass rush front in the NFL by quite a bit.
When you look at the stats last year, they blew everybody out of the water in the one department of sacks. So it's a really good group. A lot of guys drafted in the first round, a lot of depth. So it would be a big challenge.
And finally, as Bill Belichick begins his 49th season of coaching in the NFL, 24th as head coach with the Pats, son Steve has seen very few changes in his dad.
Yeah, he's obviously old. He's definitely old. But he listens to our feedback, and he's not a micromanager. He lets us do what we do. He hired us to do a job. He has trust in us to do a job, but if it's not good enough, then he'll step in and tell you that it's flat out not good enough.
As for what Bill thinks about the job,
I enjoy it, yeah. Beats working.
Meanwhile, Matthew Slater will be playing in his 16th season as a member of the Patriots, tied for second most with Steve Grogan, and trailing only Tom Brady, who played in 20 seasons here in New England. For Patriots All Access, I'm Dan Roach.
All right, Dan Roach, thank you very much for joining us now in our Bob's Discount Furniture Studios. Good to see you guys. Mike Reese, Paul Perillo. Game one. Couldn't get here fast enough. But as they go into game one, what's your biggest concern going in against the Philadelphia Eagles?
Yeah, there's certainly a lot to be concerned about, the defending NFC champs, Mike. But to me, just an overall lack of depth across the roster. I think that they were a little banged up in the summer, Mike. I think some of those guys are back now, maybe in a little bit better place health-wise, but how many reps have some of those guys taken? So what I would worry about is a couple of different positions. I would say corner. I would say the offensive line, obviously, just the overall depth.
Home underdogs in the first game of the season. So I can see why you'd ask, Steve, what are the concerns?
Right.
Building off Paul's point, offensive line would be my top three concerns because none of them have played together. I think big picture, they'll ultimately get back as a unit, but You want to go into the season sort of building momentum, especially up front, and they haven't done that because of injuries, illness, and really inconsistency.
Well, the guy who wants momentum is Billy O'Brien, okay? The offensive coordinator coming in. I don't want to say he's coming in on a white horse, but
he's kind of coming in on a white horse. There's a lot of pressure. I agree, Steve. And, you know, it's rare that you have a coaching change like that has so much in the spotlight. But listen, we all know what it was last year. The offense wasn't good. They set a lot of bad records last year, and Bill O'Brien's coming in, for better or worse, to fix it all. So I do think he has a lot of pressure on him. I do have a lot of confidence in his just overall approach, his schemes, you know, his temperament on the field. I think you could see it already with the offensive players, Mike. They've bought in a lot more than they ever did last year.
When you think about the newcomers to the offense, Juju Smith-Schuster, Mike Gesicki, Zeke Elliott, I'd put Bill O'Brien atop all of the newcomers just because of the overall structure of what he's putting in place. And I've noticed, I don't know if you'd agree, Paul, a different Mac Jones, specifically Bill O'Brien's effect on Mac. He just seems so much more comfortable to me.
Yep. Well, we talk about Billy O, but does Billy O have the weapons that he needs to be successful?
No, here's where I'm going to piggyback on Mike now. To me, that's all about Mac Jones. You know, and whether or not he can play to the level that he can rise his level of play. You know, to get to, you know, the top 10 or whatever you want to say offenses in football. I think as a rookie, he was sort of asked to do certain things by Josh McDaniels, and for the most part, it went reasonably well. There weren't a lot of mistakes. Last year, they asked him to do a lot more, Mike, and there was a lot of inexperience on that coaching staff, and they asked him to push it downfield, and the turnovers came. Can Mac Jones strike that balance, you know, of being able to protect the football while still making some plays?
Very fair. To me, the key on that will be, can they protect Mac and make him comfortable, which comes back to the concern of the offensive line. When Mac was pressured last year, I think we saw mistakes that we didn't see as a rookie. So, Steve, it starts up front for me, and I'll be watching that because I do think they have the weapons to make it work if they give Mac protection.
All right, we've been talking all offense, and rightfully so. But what about the defense? We just roll the defense out there and think everything's going to be okay?
No, I know Bill Belichick doesn't think like that, right? Mike, he's always talking about reestablishing your level of play from year to year and from game to game. You know, there's a consistency that's needed. And, Steve, what I would like to see is, you know, some improvement against some of the better quarterbacks, and in particular some of the mobile quarterbacks that they face, because that seems to be, you know, we remember when Baltimore came in here last year with Lamar Jackson.
Right.
That was a problem. You know, that was a really good defense statistically last year, but not against Baltimore and some of those other better quarterbacks. So I do think there's still a lot of room to grow.
And they got one in week 1.
Yes.
Jalen Hurts. And to me, the Patriots return every player on defense but Devin McCourty. That's like a league-leading stat by far. So technically, you should be starting at a higher point, right, than you would be otherwise. But I look at it this way, Steve. Week 1, Christian Gonzalez, your first-round pick, probably going to start.
Wow.
He's staring across the line of scrimmage from A.J. Brown, DeVonta Smith.
Wow.
Hey, welcome to the NFL.
Welcome, guys. Good stuff. Don't go anywhere. We got you later on in the show. We'll be back with more Patriots All Access right after this.
Coming up on All Access.
We sit down with safety Adrian Phillips.
We just want to dominate the games, and that's our focus. Go out there and dominate Sunday.
And later, go back home with running back Rhamondre Stevenson.
It's crazy being back here. I haven't really been back.
Patriots All Access is brought to you by Bank of America, the official bank of the New England Patriots. And by Ace Ticket, where New England fans go for tickets to all their favorite events. Visit aceticket.com. And by AdCare. Be recovery strong. Speak up and reach out. Ask for help. Call AdCare at 800-ALCOHOL.
Welcome into the first Social Media Minute of the 2023 season. I'm Tamara Brown. We're kicking things off this week with Tom Brady's return to Foxborough. The Patriots' social media and video teams are pumping out content to get the fans excited for Sunday's celebration. Here are some of their reactions.
Caught, 20-yard line, 30, 35, 40, down the left sideline.
And in case you missed it, the Patriots also debuted a twin cast featuring Jason and Devin McCourty's reactions to the preseason games, and it was a hit. Check out some of the feedback from the fans that were watching it. Last but certainly not least, Robert Kraft revealed this year's Ron Burton Community Service Award winner. Jonathan Jones received a lot of praise after receiving the award. That's it for this week's Social Media Minute. See you same time, same place next week.
Welcome to Foxborough's Gillette Stadium and this preseason opener between the New England Patriots and the Houston Texans. Throws it to the near side, picked up. And on the return for the Pats, sidestepping ahead is Mills. Preseason week number 2 against the Green Bay Packers. Zappy. Big throw, Footy snacks it, and he runs it away for the touchdown.
Hey, boy!
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Nissan Stadium for this preseason finale. The give to Harris through the right side into the end zone. Touchdown, Patriots.
Stay on that track, buddy. You gotta take that guy.
Welcome back to Patriots All Access, everyone. Joining me now is Patriots safety Adrian Phillips. I'm going to ask you right out of the gate, are you ready for some football?
Man, I couldn't be more ready. Let's do it.
I know, it's been a while, but...
It's been a long time, man. We're ready to get last year out of our mouth, man. Let's go.
What do you think the pulse of this team is right now?
I think everybody's just ready. Like, you know, everybody's just chomping at the bits to get out of there. And we've been going through training camp, OTAs. We've been going against each other for so long, but now we finally got a chance to just light it up against somebody else, and I can't wait to see what we put out there on the field.
I think there's a feeling by the fans that, hey, the defense is all set. One guy, everybody else is coming back except for one guy, Devin McCourty. Is that a dangerous take, though? Can, you know, defense already ready to go, all set?
Yeah, we're not listening to the outside noise because, you know, everybody's been talking about we're going to need help on offense. The defense is set. You know, you missing Devin McCourty, but you got other veteran guys back there that are able to fill the gap, and we're just blocking out all that noise and just worrying about getting better each and every day, because if we listen to it, then we're gonna fall into the gap. So we know what we have to do. We want to build on last year. We want to be that attacking defense that comes out of there and gets the turnovers, gets the touchdowns like we did last year, but we don't want to harp on that. We just want to dominate the games, and that's our focus. Go out there and dominate Sunday.
One of the, you know, you mentioned Devin McCourty. And that's a huge hole to fill.
Yeah.
But you're the key cog in filling that hole, especially when it comes to communication.
Yeah.
How does that work?
You know, Dev did it for so long, and he's seen a lot of football. He's played in a lot of games at the highest level. You know, he's played in, 4 or 5 championships. He has 3 rings or whatever. So he's seen it.
Right.
He's seen pretty much everything that there is to go out there on the field. And I learned a lot from him, and I think we all learned a lot from him. Just last year, we kind of knew that it was going to be the last ride, so you just go out there and soak up all the information that you can. So he taught me, he taught Doug, he taught Pep, he taught the whole secondary room so much stuff that when he left, it still kind of feels like he's still there because everybody's speaking the same language that he spoke for so long.
Eagles offense, dangerous, dynamic, high scoring, mobile quarterback.
Man.
That seems to give the Patriots fits in the past. How do you slow down the Eagles?
It all starts with Hurts, man. You gotta disrupt him. I mean, if we disrupt him, get him off the spot, and don't let him affect the game with his legs, then I think we'll have a good day. You know, he's a competitor. You know, he played in the Super Bowl last year. He's one of those guys that want to come out and prove everybody wrong. And he did it last year. So he's going to be looking to do the same thing this year. The biggest thing for us is we got to hit him in the mouth. We got to get him off his timing, and we got to stop the run game. If we make them one-dimensional, if we make them one-dimensional and not allow them to do what they want to be able to do, I think Sunday will end in good praise.
Good luck on Sunday.
Thank you.
You got it. Adrian Phillips, our guest, will be back with more Patriots All Access right after this.
The final game of the 2004 season was Super Bowl 39 when the Patriots played the Philadelphia Eagles. Tom Brady threw for 2 touchdowns and no interceptions.
The right touchdown, right side of the end zone to David Gibbons.
Super Bowl MVP Deion Branch had 133 yards receiving.
And another catch by Deion Branch.
And an opportunistic defense forced 3 Eagles turnovers.
It is intercepted, picked off by Rodney Harrison at the 3-yard line.
As New England cemented their position as a dynasty with back-to-back championships.
Back-to-back world championships, 3 out of 4. Yes, it's a dynasty.
Welcome back to Patriots All Access. Time to sit down with this guy. Missed him, haven't seen him in a while, Coach. Now it's for real here against Philly. But real quick on training camp, what constitutes a good preseason, a good training camp in your mind? And you've been doing this for a while.
Well, it starts out with the players in good condition and getting good, solid work in every day. It's really a long process of stringing days together and just continuing to repeat and build fundamentals, build continuity. And there are some areas of the team that was pretty productive in, and other areas where it was, we didn't have the kind of continuity that you would like to have, and but that affords other guys opportunities, and so you can kind of build more depth that way. So you take whatever you get and make the most of it.
All right, a lot of time has expired since we go back to the Green Bay preseason game, joint practices with them, played the game, played a lot of your starters, and now here we are in week 1 against Philly. A lot of time. How do you keep the starting core, those first and second units, sharp and ready to go, get ready for week 1?
Well, they've gotten the majority of the practice time, so the guys that don't practice as much play more, and so we try to balance it out that way.
How good is Philadelphia?
Well, they're pretty good. They're really big on defense, big physical fronts, hard to get the ball off, hard to run the ball against them, and offensively they have a lot of explosive players. The quarterback, the receivers, and they're well coached. They're a sound team, and but they can make big plays, whether it's turnovers on defense or big runs, big passes on offense. They're a very good field goal kicker, so they can score and they can play good defense.
We'll look at some of those plays in the Belestrator later, especially the offensive ones. But when did you start diving in on Philly? Like, I know the schedule comes out in May, but you get to camp, you get through OTAs. Probably about 2-3 weeks ago, start peeking at them?
Right, yeah, it's a little bit of work in the spring, and then starting to watch some of the preseason games and see who the new players are. They had a couple of high draft choices there with Smith and Ringo and guys like that on the defense. So see how that goes and see where those guys are fitting in.
All right, time now for the Ace Ticket Twitter question of the week, and it comes from @MaxH. Wants to talk about the preseason with Philly. They really didn't play any starters, not a lot of game tape. How much does that not really hamper but affect your preparation? The unexpected, we got the element of surprise, so to speak, in week 1. How difficult is that to prepare for?
Yeah, well, that's always part of week 1. It's getting to know your team and preparing for some things that the opponents haven't shown that they've probably been working on all training camp or sometimes all the way back to the spring. So, that's part of it. I think that's a little bit of the unknown. I think the big thing is, knowing what your team can do and more so than trying to, outsmart the opponents, that you better be able to go out there and execute the things you need to do. And so I think that's where most coaches emphasize in training camp and get ready for the season. So There's certainly an element of what Philadelphia does and handling them, but a lot of the first game is just knowing what your team is, what you can do, and being able to do it well.
Sure, you got some stuff up your sleeve too. Edelman and Amendola still tell that story about the whole double pass. Like, we're never going to call this thing. You guys finally called it against Baltimore.
Yes, practiced it all year.
That's right. All right, if you want to ask the coach a question, you have to follow the team on Twitter @Patriots, hashtag it AskBB. Belestrator, a little bit of Jalen Hurts and some of the weapons he has.
That's right. Yep, they're very explosive.
All right. Sounds good. More Patriots All Access will return right after this. Then we got the Belestrator for you.
I'm Rhamondre Stevenson, and this is my story from Las Vegas.
Patriots All Access is brought to you by Putnam Investments. Putnam Investments and the New England Patriots, proud partners committed to an active game plan on the field and off. By Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar, Gillette's ultimate shaving experience. And by Dan O'Brien Auto. Come in to any Dan O'Brien Auto Group store today and get your awesome protection plan, keeping it awesome.
Welcome back to All Access, presented by Geico. Fresh off his first 1,000-yard season, Patriots running back Rhamondre Stevenson is poised to be an important part of a potentially new and improved Patriots offense. Entering his third year, the Las Vegas native carved a unique path to the NFL. In our continuing series, Do Your Life, presented by Putnam, we travel to Vegas to get to know another side of the Patriots running back.
He's always good. He does a great job with the ball in his hands. He's a strong runner, but he can make people miss. He's a good football player. He's really a good football player. So glad we have him.
Give to Stevenson, runs it through the right side. Go! Bounces outside 20. Goodbye to the 10, to the 5. End zone bound. Touchdown, New England.
He's a good all-around back. Love him. Love him.
It could be a difficult place to grow up, but if you know what you want to do and just stay focused and just know, there's more to life than the strip and trying to party and stuff when you're 17, 18. There's way more to life. I would say it was probably like 7th grade. 6th grade, 7th grade, I was kind of, experimenting with other sports and skateboarding and things like that. But after like 7th grade, I knew I wanted to play football at a high level. It was my passion. It was what I loved most out of all the things I was doing.
Did you like running over people when you were running in high school?
Yeah, I did. Check the tape, man. Going from youth football to high school, just my transition, and it was so smooth. So that's when I kind of knew I, had a gift. After my junior year, I think I really established myself and, made myself known.
Expectations were sky high after his junior year, but an injury and poor performance in the classroom resulted in no college scholarship offers. A different path would need to be forged.
It was very disappointing coming off that junior year. I was primed for another great season for my senior year, but unfortunately broke my foot as part of the game. So it was frustrating, but I knew it was a part of the game. That was a very discouraging time for me. I really had one season in high school where I showcased what I could do. So, and I know that's not really enough. You're only as good as your last game, your last season. So that was kind of discouraging. I was kind of scared that football was kind of over for me. So that's when I went out and got my job at Walmart at that time, and was just trying to make a living kind of like that. And just, I knew that wasn't my end goal, obviously, but I was just trying to wait for my next plan. Well, I lived not even 5-minute walk away, so it was just the most convenient at the time. One of my friends worked here, so it was kind of easy to get a job. He kind of put the word in for me. So I was in the back stocking milk, stocking yogurt, things like that. It's crazy being back here. I haven't really been back.
You have to work for what you want. Sometimes hard work leads to great outcomes. Opposed to him asking mom and dad, for spending money, gas money, he wants to go and get it for himself.
I actually did a little bit of everything. I was a delivery driver, just a regular sandwich maker, just taking orders. We did it all. I made a great sandwich. The number 9, I was great at making. That's the Italian sub. I kind of liked delivery driving the most, just because of the tips and just, getting out of the work and just driving around and kind of forgetting you're at work.
He always knew that eventually it was going to come to him. He was going to work hard until his moment came, and now his moment is here.
They kind of knew my football career wasn't over before I did, so they were still encouraging me to, keep working out and just stay on the field. And they didn't really push me to get a job, but I just knew, I was just trying to be responsible and be mature. Knew I wasn't doing anything, try to get a job, Just having them in my corner, it meant a lot, and that's the reason I'm where I'm at today. I feel like JUCO wasn't as popular as it is now. So it was kind of, like you said, just going out on a limb and just trying to see if I could make it happen. So it's hard to think about, like, I'm going to get to a huge school out of this, but just seeing people before me do it, it just made that more, made it seem like I could do it.
My first impression of Rhamondre back when I first got here was, big body, strong, powerful guy. But when I got a chance to work with him, just saw how good his feet was for that size. He was a little, I wouldn't say overweight, but we needed to drop 10 to 12 pounds just to lean him up a little bit. But his feet, his hand-eye coordination for that size, and it was very, very impressive. Well, I knew he had an NFL future when I'm watching his film, just watching his cut-ups prior to the season, seeing how he was versus the other running backs. He's going to run the ball, he's going to get the yards, but being able to catch out of the backfield, being able to block, those are 2 or 3 things that will separate him from other guys. And I'm excited about his future, but he's going to be one of the top 5 running backs this year and leading on.
Did you have a favorite player when you were growing up, Rhamondre?
And I watched Marion Barber a ton.
Tough.
Yeah.
Was he tough?
Tough.
That's where you got running over people from.
Exactly.
Holy smoke.
Yeah, I was a huge Marion Barber fan. I was an Edgerrin James fan growing up. Then it went to like DeMarco Murray, LeGarrette Blount, just people like that.
The New England Patriots select Rhamondre Stevenson, running back, Oklahoma.
It's just so surreal, like from seeing him 6 all the way to now and living out his dream. I'm just so happy, so proud that my baby done it.
Are you a Rhamondre Stevenson fan? We're proud of him and what he's done and how he's represented this city with the New England Patriots and the NFL. So let's give him a round of applause.
Just to give back to the kids and just have all the kids up here. I know I'm gonna see myself and some of the little kids that come tomorrow, so just being able to see them all out here having fun, that's gonna be cool.
Set, go. Oh, God. Oh, you fast. He slipped.
Just driving up here, I got off the freeway, just seeing my school, like wow, I'm a product of this school. I went to the NFL out of here. So yeah, it's still surreal just pulling up to my, old high school. I was very young. My parking spot was actually right here, parked right here every day. So yeah, it's just, it's a surreal moment for me. He honestly didn't have no say in my number. They just threw it to me and I made it work.
So happy about the show out, the turnout was wonderful, and the way my son wanted to give back to the community is wonderful. It just makes me very happy, very proud.
That's what I am, proud. He's doing this for free, for one. Everybody's charging, so he's doing it for free and out the kindness of his heart. And that's just how he is. He's just humble like that.
I couldn't imagine it turning out like this. This is my first annual one, so this is just great, man. I just love it.
All right, hey, we ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna do
Everybody get off of here.
An annual tradition took place last month when Gillette Stadium hosted the Patriots premiere.
So excited to be here tonight, which means we're here for the Patriots premiere, which means the start of another football season.
Each year, one of the highlights is the presentation of the Ron Burton Community Service Award.
With great joy and gratitude, I present the 21st Annual New England Patriots Ron Burton Community Service Award to number 31, Jonathan Jones.
You don't know the impact that it has on people when you just show them, hey, I care. Like, it matters to me that I care about you.
Welcome back to Patriots All Access. Time now for the Belestrator. Coach some explosive players on this Philadelphia offense. This looks like the Tubby Raymond Delaware wing tee. This is from the Super Bowl, right?
It is, yeah. This is Kansas City on defense. And the two receivers here, Smith and Brown, are both very, very explosive players. And when they get into their play action passes like this, a lot of it's kind of two-man routes. So this is Brown and Smith coming here on the over. Hurts coming off the play action, and he launches it there from about the 45-yard line.
See the depth in his drop, too. Like, he's almost 9 yards deep.
Yeah.
It's tough to get to.
And then really double coverage down here on Brown, and he just goes up, gets the ball, takes it away from McDuffie, and touchdown. So even when they're covered, they're not always covered. These guys can really go up and fight for the ball, get the ball again. Brown's a really big receiver, and the play action really slows the rush down here. Hurts has a lot of time in the pocket, and just lets it go.
Perfect spot of field, too. Right when you cross that 50, get ready for that shot play.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now here's the spread.
Yeah, here's another play to Brown. So it's not all deep balls. There are plays like this where he catches a little under route here, and very hard to tackle. So got good strength, good quickness, and breaks tackle there, gets outside, picks up 25 yards there on about a 5-6 yard pass. So tackling these receivers is going to be a big part of the game too after they catch the ball.
Yeah, he's a bigger guy, more powerful, and I know Smith has that breakaway ability too, as we'll take a look at some more plays here, but they got guys on all different levels.
Yeah, this is Smith here, and you can see this play starts off in no huddle. So here's the umpire backing out, and Kansas City's a little bit late getting lined up. Smith blows right by the corner here, and it's easy 45-yard gain right down the sideline. So they can strike in a hurry. A very explosive offensive team. The receivers, quarterback, and it's not just all long balls either. Here's another one where Smith catches a little 5-yard return route. Hurts scrambles around a little bit, buys a little bit of time, makes the catch, and breaks a couple tackles. Again, another 25 yards there on a short pass catch and run play.
It really starts with Hurts too, as that point guard. They do a lot of condensed formation, a lot of stuff that Sirianni sort of ran too when he was with the Colts. Yeah.
Right. 4th and 5. Key play in the game here. Philly's on the 45-yard line, and the offense is on the field. Run the quarterback draw, and close, but can't get him on the ground. Hurts is strong. He's quick. Very good with the ball in his hands. Faster than what you think, and so here he goes on all the way down to the 15-yard line from the 45. So the 30-yard run on 4th and 5.
That's a risk of playing man too. Like, do you want to play zone? You want to play man? If he
Yeah.
increases it, boom, he's gone for 40.
Yeah, and that's definitely a problem. We got to we'll have to do a good job on him.
Bet you will. All right, it's week 1. Good luck, Coach. Good to be back at it.
Thanks, so. All right.
All right, there you go. There's your Belestrator. More Patriots All Access will return right after this.
Patriots All Access is brought to you by Bank of America, the official bank of the New England Patriots, and by Putnam Investments. Putnam Investments and the Patriots, proud partners committed to an active game plan on the field and off.
How fortunate were all of us to be able to, whether you were covering them, whether you were playing with them, whether you were watching them, to be able to witness something like that. 20 years of an unparalleled run, greatness that we've never seen before. So I'm excited about the opportunity to welcome him back and celebrate him the right way.
You can't say enough great things about the guy, right? Like, I can't even put it into words. What he's meant to me and done for me, and how much I learned from him, how he treated me. I mean, you could go on and on. We sit up here all day and talk about it. So, excited to see him. And excited just for the atmosphere. It'll be a great atmosphere. 2 good football teams. Gillette will be happy to see him.
Welcome back to Patriots All Access in our Bob's Discount Furniture Studios. Back with Mike Reese and Paul Perillo. I said at the beginning of the show, expectations. We talked about expectations. What are your expectations of this team?
Yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty, and, we talked about Bill O'Brien and the newness of the offense, and that's what I think, Mike, makes it a little bit hard to sort of predict exactly what you're going to see. If you see another staggering offense, then I think most people with this schedule would say, well, it's going to be even worse than last year. Sure. But you expect some improvement offensively. We'll see how that unfolds.
I think it'll be a better product than last year. I'm not sure it'll be a better record because of what Paul said, the schedule. And we live in such interesting times, with win totals and all this stuff, right, in Las Vegas and all that stuff. I look at the number. What does the public think? 7.5 wins is sort of the win total if you're into that stuff.
But don't you guys get a feeling they'll figure it out?
Well, I think, like Mike said, I think that they will be well coached. I think Bill Belichick is the best in the business. So,
but
for the most part, but there's only so much you can figure out with the talent that you have. That's the problem, and that's what I'm trying to figure out. What Bill O'Brien, what level can he get that offense? The defense, I think, can play at a reasonable level. I'm not sure what the offense can play.
And here's what I do think they'll figure out, Steve. I think they'll be a physical team that gives you everything they have, that plays smart football. Okay. Whether that will be enough against the competition they play, I think that's why we'll all be tuning in to see.
Well, let's talk about the competition, because the AFC East is not your typical AFC East anymore. I mean, it's probably the toughest conference in the National Football League right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's hyperbole. I think that, you're looking at the AFC East, maybe the North, but, top to bottom, the talent, just look at the rosters. And this is why I had a hard time answering your question. Like, don't you think they'll figure it out? Yeah, I do think everything Mike said is probably true. They struggled in some areas that I thought were uncharacteristic of them struggling in last year. I think Bill and the rest of the staff will clean some of that up, but will it be enough to overcome the talent gap that exists in my mind between the Patriots and the rest of the division? I mean, the Jets are a really, really talented team, and now they've added a future Hall of Fame quarterback.
And that's going to be fun to watch the Monday night game, Jets-Bills, to just sort of get a feel for where it is. AFC East, in my opinion, best division in the NFL, and when you look at the NFL as a whole, the AFC so much stronger than the NFC. So these are the dynamics in play as the Patriots try to get this thing back headed in the right direction.
All right, week 1, prediction time. Going against the Philadelphia Eagles, what do you got?
Yeah, and Mike's point about the AFC, kind of gives me a little pause with this game, because maybe the NFC, maybe the Eagles are just the best in a bad conference. Yeah. But I think they're pretty talented too. And I have a hard time overlooking what I see on paper. I think that the RPOs and whatnot for Jalen Hurts will give the Patriots some problems, coming right out of the gate. A lot of newness because they didn't really play any of their starters. I don't think Bill Belichick has really an idea of what to expect. I look at the Eagles 27-10.
Well, that's a big outcome. I'm taking the Patriots, and I'm going to tell you why. For all the things we talked about the team and the concerns, which are all fair, the Eagles have a new offensive coordinator. Colin plays for the first time. A new defensive coordinator. They did not play their players, which I know creates a dynamic for the Patriots of you don't know what they have. Well, what's their conditioning? To me, this is actually a good time to catch them, in my opinion. And at home, Tom Brady is here. Environment. 28-24 Patriots.
That's why he's the people's champ, Steve.
Absolutely.
That's why they love him.
But I understand what he's saying.
No, everything.
Lose on the day you honor Tom Brady.
Everything he said makes all the sense in the
But let's circle back, Paul.
I can't argue with anything that you
Let's
said.
be accountable next week to see if it's
Did
a
you
leap
give me
of
a
faith
score?
28-24 Patriots.
He's the guy you're going to go and have a beer with after the show. I'm out.
Great job, both you guys.
I'll buy if they lose. How's that?
There you go.
Okay.
That'll do it for this edition of Patriots All Access. For Mike Reese and Paul Perullo, I'm Steve Burton. Have a great week, everybody.